Hello, today I'm going to show you how to make a Menger sponge in Fusion 360. Basically the way that it works is I've divided this cube into 9 equal sections, removed the middle section, and then did the same for each one of these and cut out the middle chunks. And then I did that for all of these different faces. Now, the first thing that we should do is, if you haven't already, you're going to want a new design. And so here, if you've already opened up the program, it's usually just a new design by default, so you shouldn't have to do anything. But if you had an extra tab open, go ahead and change to a new one. All right, so I'm going to create a sketch, and I'm going to select these different faces. For me, I am going to start my sketch on the top plane. I like this one just because it, I don't know, seems like I'm sketching on a table or something, or a piece of paper. Makes sense in my brain. But okay, so once I click on one of those faces, I'm going to click on my 2-point rectangle, and I want to click on this center circle. So this is my origin. I'm going to click on it, and then I'm going to move my mouse, but I'm not holding down my mouse button or anything. I'm just moving my mouse. And then you can see as I move, it's going to change the size of my rectangle. What I'm going to do is, for this project, it's best to pick a number that can be divisible by 3 a couple times. So for example, 90 divided by 3 is 30, and then 30 divided by 3 is 10. So that's probably a good one to pick. I'm going to pick 90 by 90 so that I don't have to be dealing with any decimals. And then the way I was able to get between text boxes, I hit tab on my keyboard, and so I just type in what I want, hit tab, type in what I want, and then if you hit tab, it'll just keep going back and forth. Once you hit enter, this will finalize the sketch, and so now you can see I have a rectangle that's 90 by 90. Now if you drew a rectangle and you clicked too soon, that's okay. If you use your sketch dimension tool, you can always click on a line that you want to give a dimension to, and also click a line over here, give a dimension to that. And so now you can see I've got this other 90 by 90, even though I didn't type in those values to begin with. The problem with this one, though, is this doesn't know where in space it's supposed to be. This one's just kind of floating around. I can move it anywhere. That's because I didn't start at the origin. If I was to maybe snap this so that it was on the end here, now you can see it's turned black, everything's fully defined. But if it's just floating around in space like this, probably not the best way to do this. You're going to want to make sure that everything's fully defined. What I am going to do, though, I'm going to undo a couple times. I don't want this extra square. I was just drawing it as an example. So I'm going to undo. And so the undo button is here. If I click on it, you'll see I can start undoing everything back to the place where I was before I created that. Okay. So now I'm good. This is where I want to be. I'm going to click on my solid tab. I'm going to click on extrude. And I'm going to click on this surface here. And I want to make this the same height as my length and width, so 90. So I'm going to type that in and hit enter. And so now you can see I have a 90 by 90 by 90 cube. I'm then going to click on the Create Sketch option. And don't worry about these planes over here. You could just ignore them. We want to start drawing on the faces of our cube. So for example, if I click over here, now you can see, it's kind of hard to see, but this plane is now right on that face. That's where I'm sketching. I'm going to select my 2-point rectangle tool. I'm going to draw a rectangle here, and I want this to be 10 by 10. Let me go to my right view again. There we go. And so this is good, but it's still not fully defined because I don't know where it's supposed to be. So I'm going to move this down here and maybe move that there. And if I move this over in this corner here, now I can use my sketch dimension. And I'm going to say that this needs to be 10 millimeters off the wall and 10 millimeters off the wall here. So you can see everything's turned black, so everything's fully defined. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the Create drop-down menu and click on Rectangular Pattern. And if I wanted to, I can spend the time to click on all 4 of these edges here. But I don't want to do that. So I'm going to instead just double-click, and it will automatically select the perimeter for me, which is pretty nice. Now if I drag this over, I can do this. I kind of prefer not to, but you'll see this text box is continuously changing. And I don't know why my rectangular pattern is so small, but let me, if I hit cancel and try this again, it might, it's been acting weird. Still no? Okay, whatever. Oh, there. So now it's bigger this time. Don't know why. So for directions, I could leave them as the default, but what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to select directions. I'm going to just give it a coordinate system. I'm going to select this top one as my X direction, and then this one as my Y direction. And now you can see the arrows are at least pointing in the right spot. And I'm going to change this distribution from extent to spacing. And now in between each of my patterns, I'm going to go to distance, and I'm going to change this to 30. And then down here for quantity, for distance for the other direction, I'm going to change this to 30 as well. And then I have most of what I need here, but the last thing, I'm going to click on this suppression check mark, and I'm going to click on this box, and I'm going to click OK. And now you can see I have a pattern. If I ever need to edit, if I double click on that weird looking symbol there, it takes me back to my edit rectangular pattern, and here I gotta scroll down because my window is really tiny again for some reason. I really don't know why it does that. It's very annoying. I hope Autodesk solves that. So, all right. I'm going to click on my 2-point rectangle now. And I'm going to make a inside square. This is going to be 30 by 30, but it's not fully defined because it doesn't know where it needs to be. So I'm going to go into my sketch dimension tool, and I'm going to position this 10 away from this square, 10 away from this square, and I'm doing that by clicking both of those lines. So I click on one and then click on the other, and then enter in a dimension and hit enter. So here I've got 30 and 30, so that's looking good. Next, I'm going to go to my solid. I'm going to click on extrude, and I am going to select all 9 squares. If I rotate my view so you can see what's going on, I'm going to change this instead of distance to all, but it's going the wrong way. So if I click on flip, now you can see it's going to cut through the whole cube, and if I click OK, I now have holes going through one side of my cube. Next, I got to do the same thing for this side and the same thing for the top. So I'm going to go to my create sketch, and I'm going to work through this a little bit quicker this time. And I'll show you a little bit of keyboard shortcuts that you can use. So for example, if I wanted my 2-point rectangle, if I press the R key on my keyboard, this now gives me the rectangle. If I wanted to have these 2 edges be equal, if I go up to my constraints and click on equal, and then select the top and the side here, now it knows that it's going to be a square instead of a rectangle. And then if I use my smart dimension, or sketch dimension, and change this to 10, and then also position this 10 away from this side, 10 away from this side, I now have a fully dimensioned, fully constrained box. I'm going to go back to my rectangular pattern. I'm going to double click in order to select everything here. My direction, I'm going to select the top and as well as the side. And I'm changing the spacing to be, or I'm sorry, I'm keeping spacing. I don't want extent. I am going to need to have suppression turned on. And now I'm going to make this be 30. And I have to scroll down a little bit more. And I'm going to make the other distance 30. I know it's kind of hard to see because it's just a teeny little window, but let me click on that check mark to ignore that middle square. I'm going to say OK. Now if this is not fully defined, so for example if I delete one of my dimensions, now you can see if I click and drag, it doesn't know where in the world it's supposed to be. So I need to make sure that I add in my sketch dimensions. There. Okay, lastly, rectangle 30 by 30. Oops. If I ever mess up, if I just double click on the number, it'll allow me to re-enter something. This can be 10. This can be 10. I go to solid, extrude. Select everything that I want. I'm going to rotate my view so I can see what's going on. And I can also click and drag this. So if I click this way, it's going to create stuff. If I drag it the other way, it's going to cut stuff. So extrusion and cutting. I'm going to change this distance to all, and since it's already going the right way because I dragged it that way, I don't have to flip it. So I say OK, and we've got 2 out of the 3 done. Lastly, I'm going to click on the top. I'm going to click on Create Sketch. I'm going to select the top of my sketch here. Again, rectangle tool, 10 by 10. Smart dimension, here, 10. And then here and here, also 10. All right, so now I've got this fully defined. At this step, I can go to my rectangular pattern tool. If I double click, it's going to select all of these for me. I need to change the direction so it's there and there, so that's going the right way. Spacing is good. I do want suppression. I got to scroll down a little bit. I'm going to make this 30, and then I'm going to scroll down a little bit more, and I'm going to make the other direction 30. And I'm going to check the box here, click OK. I'm going to do a rectangle. I'm going to make this 30, the other one 30. I'm going to select my smart dimension, make that 10, make that 10, go to my solid, extrude, and the shortcut for extrude is E on your keyboard. So I'm going to go ahead and click on all of those. Distance is going to be all. I'm going to flip this so it cuts. I'm going to click OK. And now I've cut out everything in my shape. At this point, you're probably going to want to save it. So if you click on the Save button, you'll be able to save it in whatever folder you want. Name it something. If you want a new folder or a new project, you can do that. New project, I don't know. I'll leave that to you to find out. And lastly, if I go to Modify and go to Appearance, or if you see here it says A, you can hit A on your keyboard. This is going to apply to my bodies/components, so the whole shape. If I want to, I don't know, let's go to metal. Metal's always fun. And a lot of my students like to pick gold, so I'm going to click gold. I'm going to click and drag it so that it touches the cube. And now you can see I have a gold cube. Looks super cool. The last thing I need to do is, now that I have everything here, you're going to want to click on Design, go to Render. And then if you click on the teapot, now it says I have to save because I didn't save. So whatever. You'll want to use the Cloud Render option with the maximum settings, and so just click OK. I think the defaults on the school computers already have those checked, so you shouldn't have to change any of those. Click OK. You'll see a thumbnail pop up. It'll have like a little green symbol. That means it is currently rendering your picture. It'll take a little bit. It may take up to 20 minutes. It's being sent to Autodesk's servers. The servers are then rendering everything, and then it will return a rendered picture. Once it returns, you're going to want to click on that picture, and then there'll be a little download button, roughly where my mouse pointer is. Once you click on that, save it as either a TIFF or a JPEG, or I'm sorry, a PNG or a JPEG, and then save it somewhere on your computer where you will remember, and then go to Canvas and turn in that file. And at that point, you're all done, and you can move on to the next thing. All right, good luck.